With Bogo, we are doing this sit boundary exercise, and I'm going to go in as well as go out, but this is the way we always start the walk, which would be, of course, inside, but he was out in the yard, so we're going to take him in, see how he waits. The leash is always loose. We're just using his regular collar because if you handle the leash the way I handle it, you won't necessarily need the prong collar. If you can't do it this way, that little teeny prong collar that we sent him back to you with, if he pops up because you're talking too much, you just do your little circle. You would say no and gently but firmly put him back. But if you can't do it with this because, you know, obviously a regular collar just kind of goes there, the prong collar closes with the same pressure all the way around the neck. It will make it easier for you if you use that little training collar. And of course, all that stuff is on the Moxie video and how to just tap it and be gentle with that. And so you might have to use that. But anyway, sit, nope. I'm really testing his focus because he's not used to sitting more than 3 seconds before you go in usually. He waits till you come back next to him. Okay. He walks through with you, and I'm going to come out as well. Always turning into him, no right turns at all. It's a very dominant move that makes him feel safe. So on the inside, sit. And then while he's sitting, you open the door, and you're not forcing him to stay. There's no tight leashes whatsoever. He waits. We step out. He's waiting for us to come back. He walks through with us. Okay, that's stepping out is a very important part of it because he has to stay focused and wait. He can't be reactive and do what most dogs used to do, which is to chase their owners out the door or pop up out of a sit stay. He knows that he has to focus and wait, sit until I come back to get him, and he only passes through that threshold doorway with me on a loose leash, just like you saw. So we always start the walk that way, and we have a couple other boundaries which we'll show you, and then we'll start the walk and we'll see some other dogs. So we have Bogo sit. We have like 2 little gates here. Okay, this one is the important one, of course. Sit. Everything's gentle but firm. You never repeat a command. You don't have to because you have a leash. And you do it exactly the way you see me doing it now. If he pops up, nope, because he's excited. Gently but firmly just put him back. See that? It forces him to get focused, nope, to not be reactive, and to be calmer once you get out here. Okay, and then he comes through with you. I'm going to do a little left turn here. If I were you, I would use the training collar because it'll make it so much easier for you. Of course, I can handle it because I'm going to do this a few times, but he's used to only doing this with me, and if he's been pulling you around, then it's going to be harder for you to do what I'm doing here with the regular collar. So maybe for a while, use the training collar, and then you can go to this and do what I'm doing here. So if he pulls, it's just tap and release with the regular collar. It's really all about what the person does with a 6-foot leash and how you handle the leash, so much of that. So we have one more place. Usually there's a place to have him sit there at our driveway, but I'm going to have to go over here. So he's still on the clock. I'm not releasing him to be on a walk until we cross the street. Sit. Let's see if he can do this. We'll walk around, sit, stay out in public, even with distractions, dogs barking at us and stuff. That's good. And I'm going to give him a little treat right now, just a little taste. Hey, look at this. Always reward like this. Good, just like that. Doesn't have to be a big piece. Nope. When he does something exceptional, give him a little taste of something so he never forgets that this is important and he might get a reward for it. Okay, we're going to cross the street and start the walk over here. So the street is always the calm zone, and if you have to two-hand it like that, you can two-hand it like this. over here, sit, we release him to be free. Go. So this is how we start the walk every day. And it's really the way I start the walk with every dog, whether they have a problem with other dogs on a leash or not. But if they have a problem with distractions, you go through this little 2-minute routine where it's all the calmness starts on the inside of your front door. You're going to be handling one dog at a time, of course, because nobody does training with 2 dogs. It's impossible. So if you have more than one dog, make sure each dog individually is really good. Then you get them together, preferably one person per dog. And then once that is good and they're not triggering each other to be aggressive or whatever they've been doing out on the street, then the last step is to walk them together, because you have total control at that point. You try something they're not ready to do, you're going to lose all your ground anyway, and it's just all going to fall apart, and it's going to be go back to the way it was in the beginning. So we always start the walk this way. And you also have, come, you have your recall, good, which he's starting to get pretty good at. And then we're going to meet some other dogs. We're going to have some dogs pop out on us and see what happens. So Bogo has no idea, oh look, there's a dog. Well, come. You can see the non-reactive as soon as she saw the dog. He saw the dog. He wasn't reactive. Come. It's because, of course, we've been practicing this a lot with multiple dogs. And that's what you need to do. You need to be, because of his issue, that's your practicing is when you take him for a walk. So you are going out with your rewards, because he really only needs rewards in that circumstance. You're always phasing food out or treats out for everything below the big problem. Come, unless you have several big problems. But this is his big issue, which is why he's been here for a little while with me. And so we practice this, and come. You practice giving him treats. Can you make her walk around or something? Make her move, walk around. If you practice with treats, with good treats that he likes only in the presence of other dogs, it's going to be really special. If you're always giving treats for every sit he does and other things, it's not going to be special. So you can see, because we practice a lot with a bunch of different dogs, he doesn't care. We know he's good with other dogs because he lives with another dog and he's been living with dogs at my place. So it's really about what you do with him on a leash. And you can see that he'll turn away from a dog. Good, he doesn't know this dog. You need to, for now, good boy, attention on you on a loose leash, not being crazy like that, not being out of control. See how he looks? He looks back, good. You want to reward that every time it happens. So you have to be in the moment with him and watch this stuff, because every time he looks at another dog and he turns away like that, the leash is loose. Or if he's going to look again, good. Every time you do that, this new behavior gets a little bit stronger. What's this? Oh, it's a really fluffy dog. Come. You see how he might be interested. He wants to go over there, but you need to call him back to you. Use the training to come. Get him to come back to you like that. He's really interested in this dog. Now go over there. Come. Good. You have to be director and dog trainer at the same time. Go over there, and then come. Now come back like that, really fast. So if you get surprised, you might get surprised. Come. You gotta say come and then grab, load up, because if you're on a walk and you get completely surprised, somebody pops up wherever. There he is. He's doing it again. Somebody pops up. Come. You need to be really fast on that recall at this level of his learning. Come. Good. Because you got to do this for a while so that old behavior of being overstimulated when he sees another dog, come, fades away, and this takes over. So that means a lot of repetitions of this. And it's depends on the dog and how the person is doing it, but you'll see, come, just like you'll see after just a couple of weeks of doing this with him, you start seeing results and seeing how he's getting better, but you don't stop until you think see how he'll turn away? Come! He'll turn away. He's about to start turning away like he did with the last dog. Keep doing it. It's good. So that dog will pop up, he'll look good, he gets paid. Always, if you're doing this, have him to the side of the distraction, either side, so he can notice, hey, what's that? And then he looks back at you and he gets paid. This is a new behavior pattern, good, where he chooses to turn back to you. Come. Good. And see, because I practice the recall always like this, come, back away like that, reward. And I've done it so much with him. Now, if I can't back away, he still comes to me. But you always practice the come command just exactly like that. Come, you back away, you draw him to you. Good. If you want to say good and pet him at the same time that you give him the treat, that's extra good. But this is what we have so far after a couple weeks of practicing. See how now he'd much rather pay attention to me than do his old ways, practice his old ways. Good, and I ran out of treats, good boy. It starts happening on its own, and if you continue this, at some point, good boy. He can't remember doing anything else. So whoever handles him after me has to do exactly this in every situation. Doesn't mean that every situation will be perfect, but if you have some sort of a meltdown, you couldn't handle what happened on the street or whatever, identify what happened that day and don't go to that street, don't go past that fence line where those dogs are, whatever it is. Adjust what you do so that you can have way more successes than failures, and it'll continue, that inappropriate behavior will continue to fade away.